One of the things I see a lot when I'm performing my video analysis is that so many amateurs miss volley opportunities. And they miss them for a number of reasons. I think the first one is confidence. The fact that they don't feel confident about hitting the ball on the volley, which we will address in this video. The second one is that they're perhaps not watching or their reaction time isn't fast enough. And then the third one is not knowing what shot to play, which causes hesitation and doubt, and then maybe it's just better to leave that. And we'll address that in another video. Now, as I've been talking, you can see me doing the figure of 8, which is a fantastic solo volley drill. It's great when you first start watching or seeing squash because it looks really impressive and it gives you a goal to work towards. It's got a number of really interesting progressions and regressions, some of which I've been demonstrating now. But it's not the only volley drill that you should be practicing. It should be complemented by others. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 volley drills that will increase your confidence and ability to hit the ball on the volley. For each one, I'll show you how to hit the base volley, followed by some regressions and progressions, and I'll explain how it will help you in each match. At the end, we'll tie it all together in a free practice plan that will be available on the Better Practice app. So, how many of those progressions did you notice? Anyway, let's get started with the first one. As I said, I call this the reaction adaptation, and you start by standing one racket and one arm away from the wall, and then you take a step back, and then you hit forehand, backhand, and so on. Now your objective is to adapt to difficult situations and to react to them when the ball is not going where you expected. Now, obviously, the progression here would be to just hit the ball harder. And when you feel that you can do that well, you can step forward, but only a little step. And here we go. Now, the benefit here is doing this for not a long time, but not more than, not just like 10 or 20 shots. You really need to be doing for 50 because of having to adapt. Now, you can try keeping your wrist very firm. And as you can see, this feels very rigid. Look at my arm, I can't even... But the moment that you learn to relax a little, you'll be able to adapt. And the key is being able to move your wrist without loosening your grip. That's really key because you'll have to adapt. Too often we squeeze very hard and then we have no adaptability in our wrist and forearm. So another progression is one straight, one cross court. It's a great progression, if you can remember to do it. It's a great progression because when the ball comes across the court, we don't really want to hit it back across the court, obviously not. But if we can hit it straight, that's even better because it's probably going away from their opponent. Now, a regression would be if you can't do it on the volley, start with the bounce. Seems very easy, and maybe it is. And then when you get better, one volley. Make sure you do both sides. Oh. Okay, so volley, bounce, volley, bounce. Not as easy, because I haven't done that one in a while. So, the basic one arm and racket away, one step, forward, forehand, backhand, a little bit faster if you want to, and then step a little bit closer. Obviously, we don't really want to be, this really is not benefiting you. So don't get too close. Okay, so one progression I forgot to record earlier on, which is why I'm adding it now, is a side-to-side movement. So when you are accustomed to forehand, backhand, or forehand, forehand, backhand, forehand, forehand, backhand, and you can move forward a little bit, you can hit a little bit harder, what you can then progress onto is going sideways. So something like this. It means that you have to control it. It means that you have to control the ball more than when you're just standing there, because you have to move it consciously further away from you. You're not just hitting here, you're moving across, and each one has to go across. I call them progressions, but you might find that one easier than hitting the ball harder. So they're more variations. So try it and see which one works for you. The next volley is a volley block. And you perform this just in front of the short line. And your objective is to prepare early, have a short swing, racket head finishing above the wrist if possible, and then prepare again quickly. So I'm often asked, how hard should I be hitting these balls? And of course it's great if you can hit it really, really hard. But I'm looking for between 60 and 80% your maximum. So for me, something like that. Anything that's a little uncomfortable in the sense that you don't feel you have enough time is about right. A regression would be one bounce, one volley. And then, and then it would be two volleys and one bounce, three volleys and one bounce, until you feel that you can perform that volley quite well. Now, it's a natural idea to feel that you want to go quite far forward, and that is a valid progression. But generally, I like people to stay just in front of the short line. And if they want to get better or they want to progress, then they would start to hit the ball that little bit harder. But you must, I stress this, you must keep control. If you can't hit, a little bit like those reaction volleys, if you can't hit at least 10 or 15 at that speed, the faster speed, without making a mistake, it's too fast. The benefit comes from being able to hit lots of them, not being able to hit one or two and then a hard one and you can't get it back. There's no benefit in that. Another progression would be to hit below the service line, which is much harder than it looks. You see, I can't even demonstrate it. And then the final progression, and of course here I'm close to the camera, would be to perform it as close to the wall as possible. So let me just do some over here. I'm trying to get it tight. My objective with those, when I'm going close to the wall, is to beat myself. To be able to hit it so tight, I can't get it back. I know that seems counterproductive, especially after I've just said I want you to be able to hit 20 shots. But you have to be able to respond to shots that are really tight. So the benefit in the real matches is that you become accustomed to having less time than normal. Normal, you'd be back on the tee area and you'd step across to take a volley. And the difference is about this much. I have no idea how long that is in time. It might even be like 100th of a second. Doesn't sound very much. But when you're in a rally and you're accustomed to taking the ball off the front wall that little bit earlier, this will feel like, not like you've got a lot of time, but it will feel like you have a little more time than you usually do. Now, we shouldn't be doing too many of these. I do a maximum 75 because I feel that that puts too much stress on the shoulder, and then when it's included with other volleys, 75 is a lot. So don't think, oh, I'm going to do 150 of these non-stop. That's not necessarily good. It's a false idea that the more you do, the better. It's not. You need to do it until you can no longer keep the quality up, and then you need to move on to something else. And talking about moving on, let's move on to the third volley, high, deep, straight volleys. Okay, so the final shot are high, straight, deep volleys. Now the benefit, obviously, well hopefully it's obvious, would be service returns, because so often a point, a rally, can be decided by the serve and the service return combination. So you want to be able to feel confident that you can hit the ball deep and straight. Now obviously a serve comes from across the court, but you have to practice it somehow, and this is what you're doing. Now I'm going to be performing this in the middle, and of course in reality you'd be doing it against the wall. I'll show you some forehands and some backhands. The basic technique would be firm wrist, racket and wrist above the shoulder. You're trying to block the ball. You're not making this massive swing with the racket down here. You want the racket to finish as high as the ball, because essentially you're pushing the ball back. You're not trying to hit it too hard. You won't be doing too many of these in a row because it's quite hard work. So let me try and demonstrate some of them and you can see what I mean. As I said, I'll be doing it in the middle, which makes it a little bit harder, but you'd be doing it against the side. I'm too low at the moment. Gonna aim a little bit higher. That's good. Too low still. That's good, but I'm gonna hit the camera. Woo! There we go. That's it. Now, obviously I don't want to hit it out, but and a bad one. But I'm not worried if I do hit it out. I'm only practicing. Now, let's have a quick look from the other side. Racket would be the same idea, although in the forehand, you might have the wrist or your wrist a little bit lower than the racket head. There. Good. That's it, Philly. Too low. That's good. Yes. Now, the weight of that last shot was lucky, but it was just right because it went deep and it didn't come off the back. So what I'm not trying to do is hit these super hard ones that come off the back. I want to hit it hard enough so it gets to the back but doesn't come out too much. And to do that, you're kind of hitting in a straight line. Don't think that you're hitting in this high type lob. You're not. You're hitting more straight. A little bit of slice is good. Now, the regression would be one high, one low. So you might put one low, one high. One low, one high. One low, one low. So basically, if you can't keep the volleys going, don't worry if there's a bounce in the middle. The progression is getting as tight to the wall as possible so that you are scraping the wall and down the middle. Now that might seem like counterintuitive, but down the middle is easy. Down the middle is hard because you don't have a guide. If I were to hit straight drives up and down the wall and I'm trying to get it to land on the center line, that is tough. Okay, so that would be the progression. Really tight or down the middle. Basic, you're quite close to the wall, but your objective is not to get it as tight as possible, it's just to keep it going. And the regression would be one bounce and one volley. So that's it. Don't do too many of them in a row. Even in the advanced routine, we only get to do 50 or so of these because 50 of these is really hard work. What you want to do is you want to do maybe 10 or 15, maybe 20, take a break, do something else and come back to them. And essentially that's what the routine is. That's how it works so that you get get plenty of repetition, but not all at the same time, so it doesn't stress your arm. Now, ideally, you'd do this with a partner. You'd hit one straight volley back to yourself, one cross court, and then they would hit one straight and one cross court to you. But these are about solo drills, so that's all we can talk about. Okay, so let's watch from the back again to emphasize racket head above the wrist, leaning back, so not just like this, leaning back. I'm going to be using most of my arm, firm wrist. I'm looking to impart a little slice on the ball so that I can make it go to the back and then drop down and stay down when it bounces. Obviously, I'm looking to hit it tight, but who knows whether I'll be able to do that in this demonstration. That's a good shot. I'll be really happy with that in a match. That one too. See, it forces me to take the ball above my head and close to the wall. That's a good one. This is what I'm aiming for. That's out, of course. There. And that's the kind of shot I'm trying to play. I am not hitting it hard. I am not smashing it. I'm pushing it back and making it harder for my opponent by sticking them in the corner. Let's try the backhand. Okay then, so it's the same idea. Racket head above the wrist, leaning back slightly, using my arm, trying to follow through upwards, not hitting it too hard, not trying to smash it. See what happens. Ugh. Too high that last one, but I'm pretty happy with those. Didn't hit the ball too hard. They were quite tight. If I were playing them or against them, I'd be working hard, especially if I'm coming from the tee, but I've got control of the ball because I'm not trying to smash it. The moment I try and smash it, I lose control, and then I lose confidence, and then I miss the opportunity because I don't play the ball. So one progression for these deep backhands, and it is a tough progression, is going from side to side. Now, I haven't practiced it enough. I'm probably going to embarrass myself, but it will show you how difficult it is. So my objective is maybe one or two forehands and then hit it across the court just slightly to hit one or two backhands. Let's see what happens. Oh, too good. Well, not bad, eh? Quite good. Not good. Now, for the final progression, I'm looking to go much wider. I'm supposed to, like 1, 2, 3, 4. But for this final one, I am looking to go wide. So I'm essentially kind of recreating not having a partner. But specifically, I'm looking to make it hit the side wall so it's coming at me so that the ball is sort of coming towards me. That's what makes it difficult. Well, too early. Too tight. Edit this out. Here we go. Ready? Too early, really. Now here. Oh, terrible. I told you it was hard. A few more chances. That's better. Oh, damn it. As you can see, just don't have good enough control to be able to get the angle right. I'm either too much down the middle or I'm too early. So one drill that I like to alternate with is one that keeps the ball warm, gets you swinging, and then really forces you to work your forearm, is the corner drives. You can see that I'm making a full swing, and the same on the backhand. This is included in the practice plans because, as I said, it keeps the ball warm, gets you swinging, and then when you do the reaction maneuverable volleys, it really stresses those forearms. Well, there you have the drills. Knowing how to do them is only half of the equation. You actually have to do them. Now, you can introduce one or two into your regular training, or you can try one of my practice plans. At the time of this video recording, I've got 2, but I might make 3. I haven't decided yet. Practice plans are free and will be available on the Better Practice app. So if you don't know what that is, check out all of the links in the text description. And as always, if you have any doubts or questions, just let me know in the comments and I will reply. And remember, do something every single day to improve your squash. Right, I'm going to see if I can do 500 with no mistake. Wrist is killing me.